CNN photojournalist moved the camera, that truck moved with him to block the picture. So let's talk it over with our political commentators, Republican Andre Bauer, former lieutenant governor of South Carolina, and Democrat Michael Nutter, the former mayor of Philadelphia. So, Andre, if you want to play golf, then just golf. What's with the secrecy?
You know, I don't know. I keep waiting for my invite. I still hadn't gotten it to be down there with him, but I don't know. It's interesting and intriguing, and it keeps people guessing and keeps us in the news.
Michael, your thoughts on this?
Well, it's pretty silly, Anna. As you said, you want to play golf, play golf. I said the other day, you can play badminton. You can do whatever you want to do. It's holiday time. You take some time off. There's nothing wrong with it. Again, this is consistent with the pattern, though, of Donald Trump to say during the campaign he was never going to play golf or criticize President Obama, and then he's virtually outstripped President Obama's 8 years in his first year as president playing golf. So it's just consistent with his lying about things and doing something else. It's tragic, really.
And Andre, I mean, Trump was very critical of Obama's golf time when he was in office. So how does that look now?
Well, you know, I don't know what he's doing because we don't know. There's a truck there. Is he playing golf? We don't know. Look.
But we do know. I mean, we have seen him on the golf course. I mean, that's the thing. Like, he's tried to block it a couple times, but he has been seen golfing.
Yeah, it's a knowable thing, Andre.
Him criticizing the former president and doing it clearly doesn't look as good as something else he could be doing.
Okay, let's move on. Let's get past the golf because
that's good.
In the big picture, it really doesn't matter. And frankly, he's president. He deserves a little bit of free time and probably good to get a little exercise. Anyway.
Get away from the tweeting.
Let's talk about the tweeting because earlier this week, he was talking about how cold it's going to be on the East Coast for New Year's Eve. Let me read the tweet to you guys. In the East, it could be the coldest New Year's Eve on record. Perhaps we could use a little bit of that good old global warming that our country, but not other countries, was going to pay trillions of dollars to protect against. Bundle up. So he's conflating weather with climate change there. But Andre, some Republican pollsters have said it is his attitude towards climate change that's helping to drive younger voters away from the Republican Party. What's your take?
I don't think that's what's driven voters away from the Republican Party. We do, as a party, need to reach out and get young people engaged in the party. But over history, usually young people have deviated towards the Democratic Party. And as they got wiser, smarter, and older, they deviated towards the Democratic Party. I know the mayor's not going to be happy about that. But for decades, the younger people, more than not, have been members of the Democratic Party or engaged in Democratic Party's politics. And I don't think that's a big issue for them. Not that it's not an issue, but it's not one of the top issues for them.
Mayor, you find that funny?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, no, it's hilarious. But the real thing, which is very serious, is, again, Donald Trump conflating two different issues, not understanding the difference between weather and climate change, and then, more importantly, more seriously, not even understanding and taking the fact that the planet is being affected by human activity and announcing summarily that we're going to, pull out of the Paris Agreement. There's virtually no mayor in the United States of America that's paying any attention to that because mayors know whether you're in Florida with rising seas, whether you're in other states with wild temperature changes and severe weather events, unlike we've seen in modern history, we know on the ground that these are real issues, and Donald Trump just thinks that everything is a joke.
I want to touch on this new reporting from the New York Times. George Papadopoulos telling Australian diplomat that Russia had political dirt on Hillary Clinton back in May of 2016. This is a driving factor, according to the New York Times report, for the FBI to launch their investigation. So, Andre, how does this affect Trump's White House view that this dossier prompted the FBI investigation? Apparently that wasn't the case.
Well, the president a long time ago said that Trump Tower had surveillance on it, and everybody laughed at him. This has gone on now for almost a year. They've been looking in Trump and Russian meddling. Well, I don't know what part's wrong, Mayor. Tell me where I'm wrong.
What evidence do you have that there was Russian surveillance?
The FBI has said that there was no surveillance. The FBI said that. Our FBI.
not true. We do now know that Trump Tower was surveilled. I mean, how do you think they got information on Manafort? We know, in fact,
the president said that Donald Trump said that President Obama had his building wired. The FBI said that is not true. There's no evidence of it. Look it up, Andre. Cut it out.
We know they had surveillance of Trump Tower. Anyway,
Okay,
this
Andre,
is
stick to the
No,
facts
they had,
because
no,
we
they had
don't have
surveillance on
evidence
foreign
of that.
leaders. They
So-
had surveillance on foreign leaders because that's what we do.
But back to the
Yes.
And
question,
if you talk
Andre.
to foreign leader, if you
Back
talk
to
to
the-
spies, you will get picked up on those tapes. Yes.
But back
We
to the
also-
question
Not a good thing
of
to do,
this
Andre.
latest reporting. If indeed it was this Papadopoulos revelation, which was flagged by Australian officials to U.S. officials that led them and created this investigation to begin, that does fly in the face of what the narrative has been by a lot of Republican lawmakers and even the president at times, that this is all a hoax of an investigation sparked by a bogus dossier.
Look, all of us, this thing's going on for a year and a half now. I know a lot of people would like to see it get over, me included, but several of the people doing the investigating, because they need to get back and help the Democrats raise money. I mean, we've got a tainted group of people doing the investigating. We know they're sending emails that say they're impartial to Donald Trump. We know they've raised money for the Democratic Party. This is not a fair and reasonable investigation. The reason why you have special counsel is to have people recused from the entire cesspool to do the investigation, and that's not the case at all. In fact, we have people that have a certain leaning in politics, and now they're doing the investigating, and that's not right.
Mayor Nutter?
Anna, let's be very, very clear from the start. First of all, the reason you have a special counsel is because the president, in his convoluted mind, fired the FBI director because of Russia. The reason the attorney, Andre, let me finish. Let me finish. I didn't interrupt you.
Oh,
Jeff
well, yeah,
Sessions, because he didn't tell Congress the truth under oath and had to go back, I think at least 2 other times, then ended up having to recuse himself because he suddenly forgot until he remembered that maybe he had some involvement with people in Russia. Rod Rosenstein was appointed by Donald Trump and is a Republican. Mr. Rosenstein appointed Mr. Mueller, who's also a Republican, and he's in charge. All this other lower-level nonsense about who's emailing whom or whatever, Democrats and Republicans respect Mr. Mueller. He should not be interfered with. This is not a hoax. It is not fake news. There are 3 different congressional committees investigating all of this nonsense, all of which are headed by Republicans because you control the House and the Senate. The only person who believes that there's nothing going on here is Donald Trump, and his entire administration is on the verge of collapse. That's what the facts are.
Well, and the latest, we got to leave it there, but I do want to point out that there was an interview that the president gave this week, and he himself said now he believes that Robert Mueller will be fair in this investigation. Andre Bauer and Michael Nutter, thank you both for coming on for the spirited
Thanks,
debate.
Anna.
I appreciate it.
Happy
Coming
New Year.
up, Happy New Year to you as well. Coming up, there's no shortage of people critical of President Trump's handling of foreign policy, but my next guest says the president has scored quite a few successes. Why he says this administration has